stickers. This is all just stickers.
Like your body's in the room, but you're not really there. Like you have empathy inside, but you don't really care. Like you're fresh out of love, but it's been in the air. My best repair. A little bit tired of trying to care when I don't. A little bit tired of quick repairs to cold. A little bit tired of sinking. There's water in my boat. I'm barely breathing, trying to see your float.
Hello all my beautiful wonderful people, my name is Lexi and welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to be setting up my K-pop journal. We're going to try for a second time doing a K-pop journal. If it doesn't work this time I might cry because this journal is so cute and I love it. Before we do that, I'm going to show on the screen, so I don't mess up anybody's usernames, the 5 winners for my giveaway from Lexmas. So again, just to recap, if you don't remember what the prize was, essentially the prize is just each of these people get to pick out one of the cards from my buy sell trade binder that they can have for their own completely for free, no questions. Just DM me on Instagram. You guys have until Wednesday to DM me, and if you don't DM me by Wednesday I will choose another winner. Thank you guys for all participating in Lexmas, and thank you to everybody that, you know, voted and cast their votes. It was interesting to see what everybody thought, how many cards everybody thought that I had in my collection. If I was playing in the challenge, I would have got it wrong, and it's my own collection, so yeah. But yeah, without further ado, I guess we're gonna get into what are you doing, you weirdo? I didn't know you brought him home. But yeah, without further ado, we're gonna get into setting up my journal. I think the part after this will all be a voiceover because I don't do good at talking and journaling at the same time. But essentially we're gonna be setting up the first half of my journal, which will just be some like yearly kind of spreads, and then we will set up some like little monthly spreads. And I'm gonna be talking about my 2025 album project, which I've mentioned on my Instagram before. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into this video. Okay, the third time's the charm, right? So we're going to try to film this voiceover for a third time. This time we are in my car at work. But hello, welcome to me trying to set up this journal. I tried to do a K-pop journal, I think it was last year, but I brought the wrong size journal. I'm very particular about the sizes of my journals, and I bought the really big size, the B5 size, I think it's called, and I absolutely hated that journal. It was way too big, I didn't like it, and therefore I didn't like K-pop journal or make a K-pop journal again later on that year, because I couldn't do it. I hated that journal. And so I decided for this year we're going to try again. The other reason I wanted to try to do this journal again this year is because I'm trying to challenge myself to post more on this channel that doesn't involve me spending money necessarily. So like not directly working on my K-pop collection. These videos probably won't do as well as like the ones where I'm actually working on my K-pop collection, just because I know these types of videos are not what everybody comes to the channel for, but I still thought it was fun and I wanted to challenge myself to do it. So right here, you just see me doing like the title page for this journal. I end up hating the way this page comes out as I'm working on it, and you see that I give up halfway through because I'm gonna, like, after I glued this down and do a little bit more on this page, I'm going to try to like cut out the words K-pop journal, and I absolutely hate it, and so I just give up and I move to the next page. Starting a new journal for me is both fun but also stressful because I think I put too much pressure on myself for the beginning pages, and then as I go through it I like get more relaxed and get more used to using the journal, and so then I just stop caring, and then I get like better with it, if that makes sense. I don't know. But yeah, the page right after this though I think turned out well. The page you're going to see after I decide that I hate... See, look at these letters. They're so ugly. Oh, I hate them. This page, though, is going to be my 25 photo cards I want to find in 2025. I tried to do this last year. It didn't quite work. So I'm trying it again this year, and I made it a little bit different. I only allowed myself to put 3 groups on the list this year. So it's ATEEZ, Purple Kiss, and Yuri. None of those probably surprised anybody that I put them on here.
I've actually already found one. I found Mingy's blanket PC already. I found it in a set. It came with like that card, 3 other cards, and the Halazia album for like $15 on Mercari. And so I was like, yes, please, thank you. So that, if I decide to do a mail haul video this month, which I'm trying to because I know a lot of people like when I post those, that will definitely be in it, and I'm very excited about it. But yeah, I do like how this page turned out for the most part. The page beside it, I don't love as much, but the page beside it, I made so that way as I find the cards, I can write on there like where I got it from and maybe how much it was. So yeah, later on I come back and I put a sticker on the blanket Mingy, just to like another little like symbolization that I did got it. Get it. Yeah, get it. So it will be interesting to see how many of these I do get by the end of the year. Like, how well did I stick to this, or did I just go kind of like bananas with it? Most of the journaling supplies you see me using here are things I've had for a very, very long time. Some of them are from Hobby Lobby, some of them are from Michael's, and some of the things you'll see are like freebies that people gift me in trades, and I've gotten from like freebies that people hand out at concerts. I keep all of them, and I keep them in like that giant container you saw me ruffle through in the beginning. And then the book pages are just from old, like, used books that are, like, falling apart. Most of those, like, the old used books I got when I worked at a used bookstore. Some of them, we used to have a free bin, and they would come in looking raggedy and dusty and crusty. And so those that I'm like, nobody's going to take these because these are, like, so, like, not well taken care of. I would just grab a couple of them, and I just rip out the book pages from time to time when I need them. Some book pages I feel like are better for journaling than others. Like this one that I'm using in particular is not one of my favorite ones, but I do have the pages, so I want to use them, obviously. And yeah, so here's where I'm writing out the list, and I just wrote Mingy, Halazia, Mercari, and I wrote $15, but I guess the card itself wasn't $15. It was like the set was $15, but you know, it is what it is. I think the page after this is going to be my concert wish list page. I didn't fully fill this one out. Basically, this is kind of like my dream concert, like concerts I really would like to go to, not necessarily just this year, but concerts in general. So I definitely wrote Purple Kiss because I am going to them, and then I wrote the Purple Kiss stops that I'm going on. I also wrote Jo Yuri, and I left room for a spot because maybe that will happen in 2025. She's getting a lot of recognition, a lot of popularity because of Squid Games, which I'm very proud of her and happy for her for. And I wrote Ailey. At first I was going to keep this a little bit more realistic, and I wasn't going to write ATs. So that way, like, I don't know, because I don't think I have the money to go to ATs this year, but they also are going to Europe, so I doubt that would happen. But I'm probably going to write ATs on there again, because I was like, let's make this more like a one day maybe concert wish list again. And then I had this cute picture of Momo that I took out from earlier that I thought fit the very pinkish vibes of this page. And then also, I hate my handwriting. Like, I'm not good at writing titles for pages, so that's also why I hate starting a journal, because these initial pages usually have to have a lot of titles on them, and I hate doing that. The page beside it is going to be for my Kpop 2025 predictions. I think I'm going to make a video setting that up later, so I left it blank for now, so I can come back and do it in another video, and we can talk about some of my predictions. Some of my predictions are just like things that I would really like to happen that aren't likely to happen, and then some of the predictions are actual like things that I think could happen this year. And now to talk about what the bulk of this video and the rest of the setup is going to be for. So here I'm setting up basically a year-long tracker for what I'm calling my 2025 album project list. So essentially, I have challenged myself to listen to a new album every day of 2025. That is something that I probably wouldn't have picked up on my own. And the way I'm challenging myself to do this is by using a random generator to like pick a K-pop album. I will link the random generator I'm using down below. It's not perfect. Sometimes it does not give you an album in the genre you chosen, even if you choose that genre, which is kind of frustrating. But I will eventually get to a K-pop album, and then I usually listen to that one. So I've listened to 3. I'm actually behind, and I realized that when I was like setting up this page that I totally forgot to do it yesterday. And so I end up randomly generating an album from a list somebody gave me of albums that they think I should listen to during this project, and I got Promise Nine's Unlock My World album, which is kind of sad after, you know, what happened at the end of last year for Promise and so many girl groups. November sucks for girl groups, honestly. But yeah, so I ended up listening to Promise's Unlock My World as I was working on this video, which is a really good album. And so I just need to listen to one more album to be caught up on this project again. I skipped the next couple of pages because that's where I'm going to do like my favorite album from 2025, my favorite title track from 2025, and I think my favorite B-side from 2025. I think I skipped enough pages for that. And then I'm setting up my January cover page, which again, like I said earlier, I'm not very good at cover pages. I low-key hate them because they require me to make a header, and I hate them so much, but I did my best. I was also kind of sick of it, so it's very minimalistic. Usually my spreads are not this minimalistic, but I just wanted to be done with this because I really wanted to get to what I wanted to work on in this video, which was my 2025 project pages. So for each of the albums in 2025 that I listened to, I'm going to make a new, like a page in my journal for that album. So in this video, I'm going to be making 2 of the albums that I've listened to so far. I think I'm going to do like a weekly video where I update this maybe every week or every couple of weeks, and we talk about the new albums I listened to. But for this video, just to get like the start to the project and for you guys to get a basic understanding of the project, we're going to do the first 2 albums I listened to. So the first one was NCT 127's Walk. I thought the album was okay. It's not my favorite album, but that's really not my style of music. I've already talked about it on my channel. I'm not the super biggest NCT fan. But there were definitely some songs on the album I really liked, and I think it was a very solid start to this project. And it made me really excited for Day 2's album, which we'll get to in a second. But for the decoration for this album here, I'm splitting it up between the 2 albums. As you can see, based off of these photos, yes, the second album was also NCT related. So yeah, I listened to a lot of NCT already in 2025, which I think is very funny considering I usually don't listen to any. My first 2 albums of the year that I listened to were NCT. But I set up this walk page and I really like how it looked. I really liked this picture of the neobongs that I found on Pinterest when I was like picking photos to do this with. And so I really wanted to use that, and obviously since I printed it out, and I wanted to keep with like the kind of like darker black page, so I like ripped out a piece of black paper that I had to use in the journal, and then cut out the neobongs to decorate with. At first I was going to keep them together like this, but I didn't really like how that looked, so then I played around with having them separately and loved how that looked in the end. I also have now an official bias of NCT, which you'll see again in a second. So I printed out this picture of Do Young that I found on Pinterest as well to use on the NCT 127 page, and I really liked how this page turned out. I do a little bit more in terms of decorating. I get some of my metallic Sharpies that I have later to like write and like draw on the black in the background, so that way it's not so plain just white, and I think it just looks so much better. Oh, also that little picture of Do Young had these like this little Polaroid strip, so I cut it out and like put it behind the walk. I really like how this turned out. I'm very excited about this. But yeah, like I said, in terms of music, not my favorite album ever, but I really liked this album because I feel like they do the like Y2K like trend But instead of just being like, okay, here's the like inspiration, we're just gonna copy the inspiration. Like, I feel like is very common in K-pop. It's like if there's a trending sound, like everybody just takes that sound and just keeps replicating it until like all of us are tired of hearing it and the next like new song comes in. But I feel like with NCT, they took the Y2K and they went, okay, here's the blueprint. Here's what, everybody really likes. But here is if NCT came out in the early 2000s. Here's what our sound would be like. And I really, really enjoyed that and really appreciated that. My favorite songs off the album were definitely Suddenly and Meaning of Love. I also just realized you cannot see the other Sharpie that I used in the background to make like little dots, which is so sad. You can only see my ugly stars. That's so sad. This journaling page is much cuter in real life. But yeah, Suddenly and Meaning of Love I think are my favorite, but if I had to choose between those two, I think it's more Suddenly. So yeah, at the top of the page, I journal about which songs I added to my playlist. I have a playlist where I just put any song that I like on, so that way when I'm in the car and if I don't have a particular mood, I can cycle through a whole bunch of my songs that I like and, listen to some of it. And then afterwards, I just journal about basically the same things I told you guys here, just about like, I don't usually listen to NCT, but I really enjoyed this. I also really, really love Do-young, Haechan's, and Jaehyun's voice. They have beautiful, gorgeous voices. So in love. The album was good. It was solid. It was a solid start to this project to get me out of my comfort zone. Okay, as we start to work on this, I will go ahead and warn you, my phone died again. I took 2 hours to film this video. This video is only like 30 minutes for you guys, but it was 2 hours of filming for me. But, so my phone does die, and I don't realize it, of course, like always, until after I finish filming, and am a little perturbed about it, but you will see most of the setup for this page. Do-young's Youth was the second album that the random generator gave to me, and oh my good lord, I loved this album so much. It is my favorite album of this project so far. It is a new favorite album of all time for me. Like, this album perfectly is an example of like something that is so my taste that I just didn't know existed until this. And so like this solidified me wanting to do this project and like committing to it. Honestly, I love this album. I'm still listening to this album. Like, my Day 3 album kind of sucked, I won't lie, and I'm just so happy to like be able to add this to my journal, to know about its existence. I feel like this is going to be one of those albums where my favorite song changes like all the time. Like, it's going to depend on my mood that day, and it's just so good. Literally right after like listening to this album, I went and watched the music video for Little Light, and it's just perfect. When I say that this album is perfectly my style, I really mean it. I would compare this album to Sejong's Plant album and Sandal's Stay As You Are, which are two of my all-time favorite K-pop albums like ever K-pop to ever exist. And like this just like perfectly fits in that. I really hope SM doesn't fuck up, which, I mean, they normally do, so I don't know why I have expectations for them. But I really hope they don't mess up, and I really hope we can have a second Do-young, like, solo album before he enlists in the military, because isn't he the next one that needs to enlist in NCT 127? I don't know actually how old he is, and, like, I don't know if that's actually true, but I think I've heard somebody mention it in a video recently. So SM, please do one thing right in your life, and unlike you did Kai, and please I need it. Please, there's so little joys I take in life. Just let me have a man sing an album and let me love it, okay? Is that so hard to ask? As you can see, I'm very passionate about this album. I would think it was Spacehyun who commented on my story. It was like, this challenge is going to turn you into an end citizen. I don't know about that, but it did turn me on to Do-young's voice. I will listen to anything this man sings now. Anything? I guess that means I should listen to more NCT albums. specifically, I guess, NCT 127 and I guess NCTU, because isn't NCTU the like whole group that releases? I don't know. This was amazing. I should have known that I would love this because him and Sejong also have a song. SM Town Station, they did a song on SM Town Station. I think it's called Star Blossom. It's really good. If you've never listened to it, you should. It's really good. Now, in terms of the journaling, I love the man. I love the aesthetics of this album. I don't know if I necessarily love what I did. Like how I designed it, how I decorated it. Also, am I coming back? Hello? Lexi, where are we? What are we doing? Okay, I trimmed down the weight on that so you could see it. But I found these like stickers that are like cherry blossoms. And they're kind of like pushy stickers, like pop-up stickers. So I might regret putting these so early in my journal later. But I thought they kind of fit the vibe of the album. And I thought they kind of looked nice. Again, I'm not really sure. I had such grand plans for this spread. I wanted it to be perfect, but I think I like my walk spread better, honestly, which is sad because I loved this album more, so I had greater expectations for it to be prettier in my journal, but it's okay. I will live. But that's also something else I plan on doing is like for all my favorite like albums that happened during this challenge for myself, I'm gonna give them a double spread page so I can just kind of go crazy with decorating and using things. I should have taken some screenshots from the music video to add to my like picture count, but I just took things that I found on Pinterest. But it's okay, I'll do that for the next one. And did a whole bunch of decorating. And then for the other ones like NCT 127's walk, I just did a half a page. I just think that will kind of be the trend. So yeah, that's kind of like an introduction into my project. I know this was kind of rapid fire, but I didn't have much time to talk. And you guys know I'm a yapper, so I had to condense the yapping as much as possible. But I will also say I am keeping a list. Some people have recommended me some albums since I've started doing this. So you're more than welcome to recommend me some albums. I'm doing a separate generator for that. I'm keeping it in a list and I'm throwing it into a spinner wheel. I think every 3 like albums I will throw one of those in there. That's where the Promise one came from. So yeah, I do think, okay, you know, now that I'm adding the stickers and I'm looking at it like here, it doesn't look as bad. But the video is about to cut out, so bye guys, see you in the next one.